www.gundam.tk presents Master Grade Nu Gundam. Hello again everyone, and welcome to a Master Grade review of the RX 93 Nu Gundam, which is Amuro Ray's final suit from the movie Char's Counterattack. Now right away I was worried about when I bought this kit because it is 8 years old, made in 2000 by Bandai. Now, it probably won't stack up to a newer Gundam, but the Nu Gundam is a little bit too cool to turn down. The price of this, though, is also not cheap. It sells for 5,000 yen, so depending on the exchange rate, let's just call that $50. Now, a quick look around the box, and the first thing I noticed about this is that the poses they show on the box, well, they're boring. So how does that bode for the Gundam? We'll find out. Quick back shot. They do show that you can see the pilot in the chest, so that's a cool thing. The backpack has a lot of color, and it does come with a beam saber in the forearm, which is a nice touch from the movie. Another thing that was pretty rare back in 2000 is to have this complete of a skeleton. Here it shows the weapons that you get. Of course you get a hyper bazooka, but more importantly, nobody cares about that compared to the fin funnels, which are the original and best badass weapon in Gundam. You do get seals and decals that you can put the markings on, and you get die-cast metal parts. Quick rundown of the weapons: you get a cool, very nice looking unique beam saber, a big rifle, and the hyper bazooka, and the shield has some weapons in it too. The manual is pretty standard for a Gundam. You get a boring cover, and on the back you get a back shot of the Nu Gundam. And inside you get a page of story, a parts list, everything here, the parts go up to H, and there's an I1 and an I2 parts along with 3 die-cast parts. Now, one of the first things that I noticed when you go through this compared to most Master Grades is you'll notice that there aren't a lot of parts. So compared to a newer Master Grade that can be made up of, 400 parts, I don't have a part count on this one, but I don't think it's anywhere near that. Details on the fin funnels, and a page of details, including a picture of the Nu Gundam and the Sasabi, and a nice shot from the opening of the movie. So the box itself is huge. It's one of the large size Master Grade boxes. And another nice touch is that while the manual shows a boring front cover, you get a nice glossy cardboard insert that shows how your Nu Gundam should look if you were a pro painter. Now, a really quick run through of the sprues. The A sprue, of course, is always the most interesting, and here you're going to get red. It's really orange, not yellow, gray, and a little bit of pink for the beam sabers. But otherwise, there was nothing else very interesting in terms of the sprues here. Now, something that's fairly unique about the Nu Gundam is that you also get, instead of just plastic parts, you get metal die-cast parts. So this part is, well, you can make your own joke, groin die-cast parts, and you also get 2 leg die-cast parts. And when you look at the diagram, they're going to fit in here above the ankle. Now what I'm hoping is that with the fin funnels on the back, this is going to be a pretty heavy, or a top-heavy Gundam. But if he's got metal in its legs, hopefully that'll add some weight down below and it'll be able to balance better. We'll see how it turns out. Something that was really important for me is that in addition to getting the Nu Gundam's famous markings, Amuro's personal crests in seal form, you also get a set of Gundam decals, and I've already cut most of them out and put them on. But when you use decals instead of seals, you don't have any of the clear parts sticking around over the edges and making it look bad. And of course you get the regular Gundam stickers, eyes and cameras, and the fin funnels will use the orange pieces here. Another thing that made this model somewhat unique is that it comes with 13 screws, and this is a pipe for the back of the leg, but it's actually made out of cloth. So it's a nice touch, and it looks good when it's put together. So how big is the Nu Gundam? Well, just to give you an idea, on the left is the Master Grade 2.0 RX-78-2, Amuro's original Gundam, and on the right is the leg of the Nu Gundam. Now with the Nu Gundam, the leg is one piece, the foot is already attached to it, but you can already get an idea that if this is the granddaddy of all Gundams, this is truly going to be the daddy. So now looking at the individual parts, right away I already like the feet because they add some orange there, and in the toes. Like I said, the foot is attached, But this leg I've left open, and what you can see in here is this is the die-cast metal part in here. So the whole lower part of the ankle is die-cast. Now up here you can also see that there's a bunch of screws that go in here and keep everything together. You get a little bit of piston action there on the front of the knee, and on the back here you can get a good look at the cloth pipes. And even though you can move them a little bit, they're actually covering up plastic inside. And this comes all the way up to the waist joint. So to actually put the leg together, first thing you can do is you can cover up all the screws. They give you cover plates for those. And then it's just going to be a simple matter of attaching all of the leg armor on. So I already mentioned that this skeleton is pretty... I was worried about a 2000 Gundam because that's pretty old already, but it's looking pretty decent for that. So put on the front and the back of the legs, and then this part, there's a thruster here that just clicks into the armor itself. Strange that it doesn't attach to the skeleton. And then you get a couple of calf pieces, and then just put those on. You can get a nice sound from that. Put on the other one. And then, with that few pieces, all you have to do is just put on the upper part of the armor, and you have a completed leg. So, as far as everything else goes, for range of motion, you're certainly not going to get the 180 of anything new, and it splits a little bit when you bend it, but the ankle, you're going to get a decent amount of mobility, more than I expected, for something that is permanently attached to the leg. Now for a rundown of the rest of the parts, the waist armor is a huge selling point of this. I used a gray lining marker here just to get that, but you get a separate yellow piece and orange, and they also give you orange pieces here, so these aren't stickers, which is great. And in the back you get red, so you get a lot of good color in the waist, more so than your regular Gundam armor. Now the chest is pretty good. You'll notice instead of it being the light blue of regular Gundams, this is a very dark blue. But you do get the red in the front and orange vents. Now on here, the EFSF, that's put on by decals. You can also do that in seals. And I tried painting this green here, this camera, but instead it hardly showed at all, so I ended up just putting the sticker on over it. Now I like the arms already just for the amount of detail in them, including the orange on the side of the shoulders, the custom Amuro decals, and the left and right arm are different in the fact that this arm has a beam saber on it. As far as mobility goes, you're only going to get this kind of a bend, which is not too bad, but you can't quite do a full 180. The hand is a little disappointing for a Master Grade that it doesn't have the peg that you can put the weapons on so that they actually stay in place. Take a look at this. And it's not too easy to do, but you can snap that back, and then the beam saber bends up, and Amuro could grasp it with the other arm, pull that out, and then get ready to wail on Char. Something else I'm pleasantly surprised about is the backpack, and the main reason for that is compared to the original Gundams and its bland gray from top to bottom, this one you get a bunch of colors, including some nice orange details. You could add some paint there in the thrusters and the white there, but and you'll be able to put the bazooka there in the middle. Nice backpack. Now, who doesn't like the weapons of the Nu Gundam? It has a fantastic beam rifle, which is one of the longest of the regular Gundams. I had to put in a lot of black detailing, but I think it pays off. They give you some pretty good channels for the lining there. As for the Hyper Bazooka, you can see the missiles there in the back. Again, put on lots of lining. And this should be gray up there. If you're a good painter, you can paint that gray, but I won't. The actual beam sabers, this is the one that comes out of the wrist protector, and it's just a regular Gundam beam saber. But this one is unique to the Nu Gundam in that it has a back piece on it, and it's actually fairly complex, made out of a few pieces there, and it has a unique shape to it, so that's a nice touch compared to most beam sabers. And finally, you know, the Nu Gundam wouldn't be the Nu Gundam without its shield. Pretty old style locking mechanism, throw some lining back there, missiles at the bottom. Little disappointing. The high grade one makes it a little easier to see the missiles through the front, but of course where it shines is you put on the proper Gundam decal, and that's Amuro's personal mark. And don't forget, if you check out www.gundam.tk, you can see a review of the HGUC, High Grade Universal Century versions of both the Nu Gundam and the Sasabi. They're picture slideshows instead. and stay tuned for part 2 of the Nu Gundam Master Grade. Thanks for watching, everybody.